Hello my friends, in this tutorial I would like to show you my favorite method of joining a new ball of yarn. And this technique is called spit-splicing. I know it sounds a little bit like kindergarten, using spit and felting the yarn, but that's what it is basically is. We're having two ends of yarn, we're just gonna felt it with spit. Sounds gross, but trust me, it works. There's only one disclaimer. The yarn that you're using should be either 100% wool or at least 50% wool, but I guess superwash yarns, cotton, alpaca, silk, they might not work because they don't felt as well. So, but we want to take advantage of the felting aspect, and this is how it works. So I'm going to show you, I prepared this strand already. This is a 2-ply yarn. I split it in half, so I get two separate plies. And I have my other end of yarn. It's basically constructed the same way, but we have to separate it because what happens if we would felt it just like this, we would end up with a really bulky piece of yarn in the middle of our regular yarn. So we don't want this obvious situation going on. So what we do, using a blunt needle, knitting needle or a darning needle, whatever you have at hand, and try to find out where the middle is. So I'm just go with my DPN right in between these two plies. Take them apart around, I'd say 2.5 inches to have a safe joint. And then, because I'm just gonna contrast it a little bit. No, stay here. You see 2 plies of yarn and 2 plies of yarn there. So we have to get rid of 1 ply at each strand. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna rip it apart because it's woolen spun, so it's quite easy. And you see, it gets kind of feathery. And this is what we want because it's when you felt it, it's gonna just go inside of the rest of the strand. So there's no obvious sign. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Of course, I mean, you can, sometimes the yarn is a bit more sturdy, so you just want to snip it. That is okay too. We're just going to roughen it up a little bit so it felts easily. Okay, and here comes the fun part, and we're just gonna take it really literally. We're gonna spit it now. I know it's gross and maybe you won't tell anybody when you give that project to your friends, but I think it's gonna stay safe between us. So I'm going to take this yarn in my mouth, wet it, take the other strand, same strand, and really make sure it's saturated. I know it's kind of gross to talk about these things, but it's for a good cause. So we're going to line up these 2 strands and using the other hand, and it's kind of kindling a fire. I'm just gonna rub it real hard so it's felting. Okay, check it at the both ends so there's nothing sticking out. Felt. And here we go. Okay, so now, hello, new yarn. Can you see this? It's the same thickness and it's a perfect joint. And you are ready to start knitting and nobody will ever notice. And you know why it's my favorite? Just at the very end, because I love to knit in the round, and when I have to attach a new yarn and I have to sew in the ends, It's so annoying. And like this, I don't even waste any precious yarn because I have to sew it in and weave in the ends. So I'm ready basically to go knitting from this. I hope you like it. Leave in the comments how you like it, if you tried it, if you knew it before, or maybe you find it so gross you don't even want to try. But at least go wash your hands and you're ready to go. Thank you very much.